Hello, hello. Hope y'all are doing well. Can y'all hear me? That is the golden question. Oh, man. Hey, Nathan. Okay, yeah, you can hear me. What's up? Sorry, I'm a little later than usual. I worked later than I thought I would, and then I wanted to watch today's GH before I talk to y'all as well. So that's why I had to start a little bit later than I planned. And also it's Thursday. So really a day later. I just wanted to say thanks for your patience, guys. It's been a weird week for me. Weird few months really, but I'm hanging in there. I'm doing my best, and hopefully we can get back to regular programming soon. I'm not gonna lie, like GH, because it's such a hot mess, it's harder to want to even like do the Sunday things just because it's so cringe, and I hate when the show is cringe. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch right now. Jake, you just finished watching it too? Yeah, that's my reaction too. Child, it would just it's brutal right now, guys. I'm so sick of this show like throwing Sasha under the bus. Like Gladys got blood on her hands now because she is the reason why Sasha like just went in for the kill for Cody. Not that she knew that would happen, but like it is her fault. And hey, Angel. Hope y'all are doing well. But yeah, it's gonna be a chill live stream. No reactions today, like classic GH wise. I also didn't want to do another like Anna. I know we were like some people mentioned like watching Anna and All My Children. I'm down to do that, but I didn't want to do two back-to-back ones either, like two back-to-back Anna ones. She literally did have blood on her hands. Yeah, she literally did. Where should we start? Outside with wait, outside or show? Oh, well, I guess we'll start with the behind-the-scenes stuff. I mean, first of all, we got a new Molly recast, and really, I should have been more prepared because I didn't even look up the actress's name. So I'll do that right now. Okay, so the actress that is currently playing her name is Holiday Mia Kriegel. We've seen her for 2 episodes, barely. It's a bit jarring because she looked nothing like Haley Poulos, whereas the other one sort of did, and she even sounded like her a bit. So like this is just it's a turn, and she also she's got that bone straight hair, so I get like Nell and Esme vibes from her. It's almost a little bit irritating. It's like, why are we casting the same person over and over again? I mean, I get it though. Like, odds are, I'm sure that the actress that they had playing her was probably only available for so much time, and probably didn't realize like how long she'd be on either, because I think initially the only thing that GH probably knew at that point was like, oh, she got in an accident. Haley Poulos. They didn't think that she'd be checking into rehab and getting arrested and getting charged, all this other stuff. And they also had said during like when this new girl made her appearance, the role is now being played by. Whereas usually if it's like temporary, they'll say it's temporary being played by. So this seems to be it seems to be permanent. Seems to be permanent. Nell and Esme have gorgeous hair, by the way. I don't disagree. It just feels like we're just getting the same kind of people over again. You know what I mean? I think their hair looks great, but it's almost like, imagine Nell, Esme, and Molly in a scene together. They look like some weird cultish sorority sister group. Okay, Angel, you said Molly recasting is comparable to the Carly recasting before we got Laura right. Oh man. I mean, I wouldn't go that far. Like, obviously there's gonna be recasts that don't look anything like the previous actresses, and that's just is what it is. But I can't really say much about her acting yet. You know, we've barely seen this. This girl in action yet. She did have some like pretty pivotal scenes with Christina today, and Sam was there too. But you know, it's gonna take some getting used to for sure. And supposedly the actress that plays Molly currently is older than the actress that's playing Christina, and she's supposed to be like the little sister. Angel, you said new Molly age is 39. Well, she don't look it, which is a good thing. But yeah. It is very bizarre. Very bizarre. But some people can play young. We'll see how long that lasts, but like younger Molly is older than me. Dang. Alright, what else are y'all saying? Oh, Nathan, you said this Molly casting threw me a loop. I get it's for the surrogate story coming up, but damn, they couldn't get anyone at the current age of Molly. No doubt, no doubt. She is a full-grown middle-aged woman. She looks older than Kelly. What? To me, she looks young. But I don't know. I need to talk to the person who's in charge of the casting because WTF. And it's crazy because Mark Cheshire, who I think that's his name, has always been like a really good casting director for GH. Like he always has kind of nailed it over the years. Minus, you know, there's one blip here or there, but like overall, his track record's been pretty good. But yeah. I don't know. Someone mentioned on a forum that face shows her 39. To me, it doesn't. I don't know. She looks young to me. But anyway, like, if I were me, being like, or if I were me, if I were a GH writer, and I was put into a situation where this character who's about to go through the surrogacy storyline and, you know, can't have children, all this stuff, if the actress who played Molly was suddenly unavailable, I would probably just drop the story because they barely used Molly to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they were starting it, but they could have just ushered her off, like, for a little while. It just feels so bizarre. Like, we have all these, like, you know, we got two new Lansing Davis whatever sisters. You know, we have new Davis girls, and the first time that they actually get a story in what appears to be years, it's just like, I don't know, it feels like we're getting robbed. And, you know, to be fair, Lexi quit and Haley made some foolish mistakes, but like I would just cut my losses and be like, you know what? like it is what it is. Like, let her go. We got robbed of a, you know, a front burner story for, well, not front burner, but like a step above what they usually are, Christina and Molly. Oh, thank you, Coretta. Okay, so her name... Oh, where did I miss? Okay. So Holiday was Molly number 2. This girl is Brooke Ann Smith. So my bad there, guys. My bad there. Haley effed it up for herself. I understand a recast, but this recast ain't it. Yeah, but you know, like they've had to probably usher storylines around because of the writer's strike too. And they could have backburned this, you know. They could have just had her deal with this off screen for a little while, and then like not had to be in such a rush to recast her with whoever was available. And I actually do think that Holiday Mia Kriegel was a pretty decent recast considering how fast they did it. But again, I get it. Maybe she was only available for a short amount of time. We don't know what that actress was up to, you know, or if she had any other thing in the works for her future. Kaiwan said, yeah, the last Molly. This smells a little better. The other Molly a little bit sticky. What? I don't know. I just think it's a bizarre... I don't know. It's just such a weird recast. Alright, but yeah, so obviously I think unanimously in the chat, it's it's we're not feeling this recast just yet, but like, you know, you guys know me, I try my best to give the actresses a chance, and maybe I'll grow to like her. I don't know. We'll see. Nathan, you said Frank Valentine is casting at the parking lot and the grocery store strikes again. Mark Teschner is not responsible for this. It's all Frank. Sheesh. She must be the only one that can read her lines. Goodness. It's a hell no. Oh, man. Alright, well... Now that that is settled, I guess we'll move on to the next topic at hand, which I want to talk about Jane Elliott, because I think it's great that they've got her back on GH, and I don't know how long for. I heard 6 months. Truthfully, I think that Jane Elliott was probably just bored at home and wanted to get back into the, you know, back onto the saddle again. And so even though it appears to be 6 months, or like maybe that was the original plan, it wouldn't surprise me if she stayed on longer. But like the fact that this is her story, she's dealing with deception or deceptor, make whatever product from you know, deception. And she's just wanting to take over the company for God knows what reason. And then she's got her son who thinks he's a rock star and is sitting there being like, you're not my kid. You're not my mom. You're not my daughter. You're not my wife. And yet no one's asking like, okay, well then who is your mother? Who is Eddie Main's mother? Like what? Like why wouldn't a character like be like, okay, well, who is your mother? Tell us who your mother is. What's he gonna say? Oh no, but yeah, and the thing is, Jane, like the Eddie Main story, first of all, is so stupid to begin with, and Jane Elliott, poor woman, is carrying that story on her shoulders by the fact that she is Jane Elliott and she can act circles around anyone. At least I got my car back. I forgot all my children that Adam Sandler was not married to Elizabeth cast. What? Honestly, who cares if Molly and TJ have a baby? We barely see them. Exactly. Do y'all remember how, like, way back when Molly and TJ first started dating, and they were going to, like, go to the Metro Court Hotel to sleep together and, like, have her lose her virginity? I thought for damn sure that they were going to go with a teenage pregnancy storyline. I really thought that that's where they were going with Molly. And I was like, why? No. And then I think all the parents kind of rescued them and took them out of the hotel. But yeah, back to Tracy though. Back to Tracy. I don't want to get too off topic. Just happy to see Tracy. I missed Tracy. I did too. I was really sad when Jane Elliott retired, and I do love seeing her on screen. I just expected so much more for her because they hyped her up so much for the 60th anniversary and made it seem like she was going to have this huge story arc, and like, what are they doing with her? They're giving her fluff. Like, she's in this story with Lucy and Maxie and Brooklyn, and at most these guys are like D-list characters on the show at this point that like barely get seen and used for anything. And this deception is such a side story. We never see what they do until like it becomes like a plot point moment for like Sasha's mental health, or like, this, whatever this is, this weird corporate espionage storyline. I want to know who Tracy is working with. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I thought for sure it would be Martin. But perhaps, like, the only thing I can think of is maybe she's working with one of Martin's ex-wives. And do we know who she is? Not necessarily, but I don't know. Something's fishy somewhere. It's clearly not Martin, though. Rick didn't care if Molly lost her virginity, remember? I didn't remember that. Was Rick a part of that storyline as well? I like to call back for all my children with the truth story lies in the Martin storyline too. We're going to talk about the All My Children crossover in a second too, actually. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Jane Elliott's talents are being wasted with these ridiculous storylines. I mean, there's a part of me that, like, obviously thought, well, with this huge Cassadine Ice Princess storyline, they're clearly going to bring Luke back in some kind of way, or have her at least find out that he's alive, or something to that effect. And, like, Jane Elliott came back, and the story was wrapped up in a month, and no alive Luke. And now she's doing what? She's sitting here, like, trying to take over a company, when she's essentially managed to successfully get away from ELQ all this time, right? Like, she wanted out of that life. She went to Amsterdam with Luke, found her happily ever after, and now she's just, like, wanting to take over a company again? For what? It seems so dumb. And this Eddie Main stuff, like, yeah, she's not really a central character for this. I did really like the scenes of Tracy confronting Eddie on Rice Plaza. That was so hilarious, and she killed those scenes. That was the scene that was like, man, she's really carrying the storyline, because seeing Olivia sulk, it's not just the way Olivia's acting. I can barely feel sorry for her, and Brooklyn, she's just kind of like, I don't even know. She's obviously, like, sad about what's going on with her father, and she's just trying to be as civil as possible with him. And then Leo, poor Leo, what he's going through. He's into this weird situation where this guy swears up and down that he's not his father, but he looks like him. He plays his guitar and everything. But this kid is handling it better than all the adults in his life. You know what I mean? He's just like, okay, so you're Eddie now, and we can be friends, and you want to learn about animals? Like, he just kind of, like, quickly accepted, okay, this really isn't my dad. And he's just rolling with it, Kaiwan, you said you see Martin's character on All My Children. To add, the cat was a gold digger and a sex symbol. He was kind of like Luke, but Logan Naruto? I don't know who Logan Naruto is. Baby is a gold digger. Eddie Main is my Nina's territory is the symbol on with Nina has done what Nina has done to make. The symbols of life is what basically... sorry, Kaiwan. I really don't understand any of that. Nathan, you said, do we know if Rena Sofer is coming back to GH as Lois for the storyline? I sure as hell hope so, but I don't think she is either. Like, it... You know, from like an outsider's point of view who knows at the very least that she's not working on soaps right now, it would be the perfect time to bring her in. And the fact that they even used her photo at all, like, is a little bit sus. And I can totally see Tracy, like, getting desperate enough to track Lois down and to see if she can help in some kind of way. And I think seeing Jane Elliott and Rena Sofer together would be a hoot. So I really hope so, but I don't know. GH has just been disappointing me over and over again, so I'm not that hopeful. I'm really not that hopeful. And also, I'd love to see, like, Lois with grown-up Brooklyn. We got to see her with we got to see a version of Lois with a teenage Brooklyn. But, it kind of felt like we were robbed because it wasn't Rena. And I get it, Rena and Wally were divorced and probably not in a good place. And honestly, from what little I remember of that Lois's return, because I was only watching sporadically at that point, GH, there didn't seem to be much of a point to bring her back. Right? Like, from what I remember, yeah, she like did some music stuff with Ned and Brooklyn, and then she was like kind of put with Alcazar for like a little bit, and then she just vanished into thin air. So I don't know. I would love to see Rena back on GH and bringing her like her sassy personality and like maybe helping Brooklyn build a sort of music related career. I don't know. There's just a lot of potential for the character of Lois on the show right now. So it feels like it would be a great time to bring her back. Even if it's only for a little while. But we shall see. I do have to give props to Wally too, actually, because you can see a difference in like how he plays Ned versus how he plays Eddie Main. Like even like his mannerisms have changed and like the way he looks at people has changed, and there's like a bit more unhingedness with him that shows. They showed Lois's face, so they already paid her. Yeah, but they showed Tony Geary's face when Luke died, right? He didn't come back. And, they probably get paid so little for their photo to be used. That's probably why these actors are on strike right now, y'all. Their residuals ain't shit. So I can only imagine. And that's residuals for, Beeline characters appearing on the actual screen, not their photos. Oh, what else can we talk about? Oh yeah, that's okay. Let's move on from Lois, though. Let's talk about Jack Montgomery. That's his name, right? The character from All My Children. First of all, question for anyone that did watch All My Children: the the restaurant set that Lucy and Jack were in, was that a former All My Children set, or is this like a new restaurant that wasn't used in the show? Like, was there any nostalgia there? Did anything that they showed of Pine Valley look like the Pine Valley y'all knew like 15 years ago when the show was canceled? I think it was less than 15 years, but you know what I mean. Almost 15 years probably at this point, if anything. But yeah, like for All My Children fans, like did Jack's return do anything for you? I feel like there might have been a bit more excitement with Jack talking on the phone with Anna, because they would have interacted on All My Children. But there was no, Lucy and Jack never crossed paths before, so. I saw a residual paycheck from an actor. It was $5. That was awful. I've never seen a paycheck. That's what I'm saying, like for a photo, they're probably getting pennies. They're probably not even getting $5 for a photo. And Kaiwani said it does look like Pine Valley a little bit. And call back to certain things. The way they did would turn around the way he was texting like that. It did look like a set from Pine Valley. Okay. But like, was it like a staple restaurant? Like, was this a restaurant that characters would like actually go into, or is this like a new thing? Jack Montgomery is the best character ever. $5, that's disrespectful. Pine Valley being gentrified. But yeah, I don't know. I think personally, like, I feel like okay, Kaiwan, you're clearly like the All My Children fan in the chat today. Like, did you enjoy the scenes with him and Lucy and Felicia more, or did you enjoy the fact that Jack was talking to Anna? Because I know that they shared scenes. Because I myself did watch a little bit of the All My Children / Anna sort of crossover there back then. And I found a scene of them actually sharing scenes together, so they seem to be friends. Oh, so, but as opposed to being, it's supposed to be an old place, like a renovated version of an old place that they used to go to. Okay. Also saw a paycheck for acting for 1 cent. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's interesting that soaps aren't that affected by it. They're allowed to have scab writers, and they're allowed to have their actors still work. And I'd love to, like, know, like, kind of the insight on all of that. But the truth is, I'm just too lazy to look it all up. As long as GH keeps going, it's fine. But correct me if I'm wrong. Were we not? Didn't someone mention that this is the week that we were supposed to see, like, new writing, like the new scab writers? Because I don't think it is. It doesn't seem like it is. Come on, you thought all of it was great. Nathan, you said I liked the scenes with Felicia, Lucy, and Anna. I did enjoy the cell phone convo between Jackson and Anna. Yeah, like I mean, obviously, I didn't really watch All My Children, but I definitely appreciated like Anna and Jack and the fact that they actually had a conversation with each other. Nothing like Pine Valley, you said, Crystal. Fair enough. These are the scab writers. That's what James said. Like James Law Jr. Talked about it. Interesting. Well, then let's slap them for what they're doing to Sasha right now. Oh, damn. I still can't get over like what they're putting Sasha through. Did we talk about this yet? I'm that tired, you guys. Did we talk about the mess that is Sasha? Because that can be the next topic on hand. Feels that way to me with the Brando thing and everybody else. That all seems like scab writing. Brett has changed. And I think... Actually, I think yesterday was the first time Scab Writer's material aired. It's going to take a while for the scab writing to kick in. Okay, yeah, James L. Media. Okay. Alright, well, good to know. Yeah, it's just... there's definitely... It does seem very... GH seems very odd right now, and if it's because of the scab writers, then I don't know. To me, I think we're in trouble if this is the kind of week that we're having for GH, like with these scab writers. I'm not too hopeful. Like last time we had scab writers, I think we got a much better show. I don't know if that's gonna be the case this time. Not gonna lie. And okay, let's talk about Sasha. Like, I get it. You know, Sophia Matson's going on maternity leave. They had to write her out somehow. Did they have to, like, do this to her? Did they really have to do this to her? Like, let her have a mental breakdown. Like, they torture that character, and I just get so mad about it. I get so mad about it. Like, I don't know how long she's gonna be gone from the show, but damn, I hope when she comes back that she figures out quickly what Gladys and that doctor did and rips them a new one. Dude, like, Gladys is gonna be the town pariah. She already is disliked by most of the town to begin with. Now they'll want her out of town. They're gonna chase her out with pitchforks, y'all. But yeah, Sophia Madsen, she had her baby a few weeks ago, and we're clearly on the verge of her exit. Her exit storyline. Whether she's gonna be in jail or in a mental institution, it's hard to say. But I would hope that, like, someone takes a look at her medication, because even Cody said, you know, like, this is, you know, she's clearly having a setback, but this is one hell of a setback that happened out of nowhere when she seemed to be doing good. Like, this to me, the fact that she went like a complete 180 would be like such a, I don't know, such a head turner. Like, I'd be like, no, something's wrong here. Like, she was doing fine. Where did this come from? Like, that would be my thoughts. If, like, I saw my friend who was, like, picking the pieces of her life up perfectly and, you know, like, happily being confident that she could let go of her conservatorship and, like, live her own life again. And then all of a sudden, just as she's on the verge of, like, getting to that point, now all of a sudden she's robbing stores and, like, stabbing people and hallucinating just as she's taking new medication. That would be a red flag to me. That would be such a red flag. I'd be like, no, we need to talk to this doctor and like get a second opinion on the medication that you're taking, these antidepressants and whatever else the doctor gave her. Like, how, like, I'd be like, how do these two mix? And what are the side effects if we mix these two? Angel, you said Sasha could have just went on vacation. Yeah, exactly. Like, just taking some time to herself. Like, you know, like, I feel like they could have just, like, ended the conservatorship. And she could have just went off and took some time to herself just to, you know, kind of, like, slowly integrate herself back into being in control of her own life again. You know what I mean? But no, they had to go this angle. They had to throw Gladys's character under the damn bus and, you know, get rid of all the progress that she made as a human being and have her not only get a gambling addiction, but, like, be willing to go to such lengths and screw over her daughter-in-law and her daughter-in-law's well-being just to pay off a debt. When her freaking mobster, you know, cousin is right there and she knows damn well he's willing to help. Like, it's just frustrating watching the storyline. And it's like watching a train crash, like, and not, like, not even in a fun way. Like, I can't, even today and yesterday, like, I couldn't look at the screen properly when all that was happening to Sasha, because it was just like, I can't believe they're doing this to the character. Nathan, you said, some say it makes Sasha interesting to see her do all this stuff, but what's going to be the end game? She lost her child. She lost Brando. Why is her exit dragging? Listen, like, Sophia Madsen is capable of making the character interesting, and the writers can make her interesting without having her be mentally unstable. You know what I mean? Like, Sophia is really good at playing, like, just, I don't know, she's good at giving the character layers, because when you do see her going off and being, like, hyperactive, they could easily just make that part of Sasha's personality without it being, like, a mental thing, just, like, eager to help her friends and, like, you know, hyper and loving and caring. But I don't know. Leave Sasha alone. Exactly. You know, people in my family that have gambling addictions, very easy, or they'll do anything for that. Listen, I have people, like, that struggle with gambling addiction, even in my family, but they're not gonna, like, they've never, like, screwed someone over. And obviously this is a soap opera, so this is way more extra than, like, it would be in real life. But, like, I can see, like, someone taking advantage of a conservatorship to, like, you know, using that money to gamble. Like, that's a common thing. But it's the fact that Gladys has a Sonny Corinthos in her family. Like, that's where it gets me. Like, yes, if there was no Sonny in the picture, it would make sense for Gladys to, you know, gamble with conservatorship money. That makes sense. But when Sonny is also a factor, that's where the story loses me. Mike never got rid of his gun. Probably to old amnesia. Sorry? Jakey said GH is going to have some skippable episodes for me. I could already feel it. I'm already there, Jake. Like, you know, I've been keeping watch. But it's not holding my attention very well. Like, I find usually I'll try to sit there and watch GH without even scrolling on my phone, this and that. Now I find myself doing it and being like, let me know when this part's over. Would Sonny really help Gladys, or would he pay off the debt and kill Gladys, or drive her out of town? Like, he would definitely pay off the debt, but he wouldn't kill Gladys. Let's say that Gladys didn't do what she's currently doing to Sasha. There is no reason at all that Sunny wouldn't just clear her debt, and then I think instantly he would figure out that Selena is clearly like taking advantage of Gladys's gambling addiction. He would be gunning for Selena. I don't think that he would kill Gladys. Now, knowing what she did to Sasha, like when he finds out, he gonna run her out of town for sure. But Sunny saved Mike several times over the years from his gambling debts. I think that he would do the same for Gladys because he'd find sympathy in that, and in the sense that, like, gambling addiction, he's seen it firsthand. He knows exactly the mindset that Gladys is in. But that being said, she is screwing over a family member that is extremely vulnerable, and she's messing with her mental health. That is where I think Sunny would be like, get out of town, do not come back. That's where I think it's gonna go, like, once Sunny finds out about the Sasha angle. Had there not been a Sasha angle, then I think he would just, like, no questions asked, get her out of her debt, and then confront Selena. Nathan, you said, wouldn't Sunny have someone keep tabs on Gladys just in case her gambling comes to fruition? Well, he doesn't know that she's gambling, though, right? Like, he doesn't know that she's a part of those card games. I think if he did, then for damn sure he'd be keeping an eye out. But, like, he has no reason to like, keep an eye out for Gladys, minus, like, maybe being worried that his enemies could go after his loved ones. But, like, at the same time, I think any enemy of Sunny's isn't going to go after someone like Gladys, who he barely pays attention to. You know what I mean? Jake said, for real, GH has become background noise for me at this point. It feels that way. But yeah, y'all, like, I don't know, this story just bothers me, and it's making me not like GH right now. On another note, Heather Weber's back. How do we feel about that? And also Cyrus seems to be being utilized a lot more all of a sudden. Obviously in Sasha's hallucination, but also we've seen him in jail a few times. Now he's interacting with Esme and interacting with Heather. And I think he'll probably interact with Drew and Carly. It's amazing GH is still on the air. That is a feat in itself, but I think a lot of it is that they just haven't been able to find a good replacement. They've tried. But everything that replaced the soaps, when All My Children and One Life got canceled, like, nothing has been able to stay, right? Like, they didn't find, like, a viable replacement for it. They've only found viable replacements for, like, the other 8 shows that got canceled since then. Esme remembers where she was born rotten. How she's been acting lately. I don't know, like, because my question is, because, I thought there was a chance that she could be getting her memories back, but now I'm not so sure, because she stands to gain absolutely nothing from keeping Heather in the dark. There's no one there, I mean, apart from Cyrus, I guess, but they're, like, Esme didn't know Cyrus. If she had her memories back, she would be like, I'm back, Mom, and, like, hugging her instead of like putting on the show. She says she wants nothing to do with Heather but visits her. Yeah, but I think she wanted answers, right? Like she wanted to know why she was abandoned, and I think what initially happened and why she wants to maybe seek out Heather is because Jocelyn kind of brought up, the mental, just how mental her parents were. And I think that it kind of scared Esme into being like, what if it is hereditary? I don't want to be a psycho. And I think she's probably going to fight hard against it. But at the same time, and here's where, here's where I think there's a bit of gray in there, is that Jocelyn's not wrong. Like, obviously both of her parents have some serious mental issues, and that can be hereditary. She may not remember like what she did, and she may not want to be that person, but like to her core, like those sort of impulses are gonna still be there, even though she doesn't really remember doing her previous actions. See, DG, there you go. That's exactly what I was saying. Like they couldn't find something to switch it with. DG, Esme doesn't remember, by the way. Everyone is pushing her. They're gonna make her fight back. Yeah, I'm right there with you, DG. I think that, I think and that's kind of the weird to say it, but like it's kind of the sad part for Esme. No matter what, people are gonna think that she is like always on the verge of like getting her memories back and this and that, because of how she treated them before, and how what's the word I'm looking for? How sneaky she was with all her plans. Like it would make sense that if Esme were to gain her memories back, she would use the fact that she lost her memory to her advantage. But yeah, and then the sad reality for Esme as well is like, when she defends herself, everyone around her is gonna be like, "Ooh, you're starting to act a little bit crazy." Like she's in a no-win situation. She truly is. Avery Pohl is always doing a great job with the material that they gave her. Yeah, I think she's doing a great job. It's just gonna take a lot for anyone to see her as a character that has grown and changed, whether it's on the show or even the audience, because the audience, even though like we could believe like, yeah, she's genuinely lost her memories, I think no matter what, we're always gonna be on the edge, like edge of our seats, thinking like at any point they could just switch on a dime and have her gain her memories back and then get her revenge. She's not in love with Spencer. Let it go, Kaiwan. DG, you said, I'm so waiting for a catfight between Esme and Joss. Avery and Eden would rock those scenes. And they've both got long hair to pull. I still remember the scrap between Jocelyn and Nell, man. That was funny. Esme didn't know Heather. Well, she didn't know Heather, but she was still like in prison with her, not knowing that that was her mom. And then, she like essentially kidnapped Esme and dragged her to Spoon Island, and then she had her baby. So she's seeking answers. I can't blame her for that. She wants to know. I think she's just scared and wants to know if it's inevitable that she'll just be as mentally unstable as her parents, regardless of how much she wants to change her life. I think that's what she's scared of, and that's what she wants answers to. Exactly, Kaiwan. You are the only one. There's no one. I've never seen anyone be like, Jocelyn must be in love with Spencer, or Spencer must be in love with Jocelyn. Everyone's like, no. You're seeing something that literally none of the audience sees, man. Heather was never this crazy until she took that LSD. She was selfish and scheming, but it's the LSD that really made her loony. I mean, I suppose, but like, at some point that would wear off. You know? I mean, I don't know too much about like what LSD can do to the mind, but let's compare like what happened to Olivia, right? Because Heather shot her up with LSD too, but she did not, you know, she didn't go all mental. She just weirdly became psychic for a minute, and then eventually that wore off, and nothing else happened to Olivia. So I don't know. It can't all just be the LSD. There is something somewhere that has made her stay this way the whole time. I need Trina to get more feisty with Esme. Well, first Trina's got to get her voice back. I don't know about y'all, but this past week and last week, I felt so bad for Taviana, like having to just do these scenes with next to no voice. And it's so funny because, like, clearly the scenes that she shot with Taggart at Kelly's were from a very different week where her voice was back, and then she's back in the hospital and suddenly her voice is gone again. Her relationship... Oh, hold on, let me read back. LSD can cause flashbacks for years, and she was in a catatonic state for about a year. Ah, man. Heather also was from a broken home. Heather's 2012 stint was fire. Oh, man. It was pretty entertaining, Isaiah. DG said her relationship with her mom was very strained and her dad was a drunk. She sounded awful. Yeah, poor... Like, I felt so bad for Trina. Oh, man, they should have just, like, let her rest. Like, overall, I don't think... I mean, obviously, I suppose... Trina... They could have either, like, had her as a temporary recast, or just, have her do the scenes later on. You know, explain that she was on a little trip somewhere for a couple weeks and then found out afterwards. Of course, Curtis is paralyzed. Who didn't see that coming a mile away? Yeah, we all did. Someone should have gave Taviana a cough drop or something. Baby was struggling. You know, a cough drop isn't going to bring her voice back, though. It'll just soothe it, but she got no voice, and they were giving her... I mean, I feel like they tried their best to not give her as many lines as she probably initially had. Especially at the thick of it at the start. I know it went from normal to croaky, back and forth for 2 episodes. Yeah, that's how you know GH shoots out of order. Also, what do we think about Taggart drinking himself into a stupor over losing his daughter? Well, not really losing her, but you know what I mean. He's clearly struggling a lot with this. And it would be great if they were showing the storyline more, but it's just like it's clear that they're not, you know, they don't care to use Taggart more than they already do. So it just feels like a, you know, a backburn story that we'll see glimpses of here and there, and it's going to take something like pretty bad for people to catch on because he's never around. The question now is who is going to nurse Curtis back to health, Portia or Jordan? I think Jordan is actually over Curtis. You know, like the fact that like he kind of like, I don't know, he kind of used her when the truth about Portia came out, and Jordan sees that, and now she's got, you know, Portia's fine ass brother in her grasps. I'd be like Curtis too, you know, at this point, like Curtis who treated me like crap for, you know, keeping secrets within my job. And, you know, out on his high horse. Like, I'd be over it. I would be over it. I'd be like, no, I'm good. Bye. Angel, you said Taggart, damn it. When it comes to Taggart, I already see him going down a dark path. He is going down a dark path. Like, I feel so bad. Oh, the flask at the end of yesterday's episode. I'm saying, like, this guy is, you know, struggling hard. And it's crazy because, you know, he did his best to look so strong for Trina. And I you know, it's sad, it's heartbreaking because it's like another thing, like us guys, we're supposed to be seen as like these strong whatever, and like we're struggling just as hard as anyone, like in terms of especially dealing with something that life-changing, that, you know, that this girl that you thought was your girl, with your blood and everything, suddenly wasn't. I don't know. Like I think there is a situation where a parent could maybe be like, yeah, you know what? Like, I am her father. I raised her entire life, and that's all that matters. Like, it would hurt a little, obviously, but this seems so crushing to him. Jordan got Zeke. Exactly. She's now like Curtis who. And the proof was in that conversation she and Anna had at the pool before Curtis got shot. I think the paralyzing will get Jordan's sympathy back. I don't know. Jordan and Zeke were just a diversion. I don't know about that. Like, I think, I mean, obviously she's gonna always care about Curtis to an extent. Like, they shared, you know, they got married, they're connected within their family, but I don't know. I just think that her romantic interest is gone, and I don't think it's gonna come back just because Curtis is suddenly, you know, disabled, physically disabled. Jordan and Zeke were just a diversion. I don't know. I think there's more to come for Jordan and Zeke. I really think that Trina's paternity story is weak. Big whoop, she still loves him. It's not like she rejected him. And that's the thing, like I think genuinely for Trina, she loves Taggart, and she's always going to see him as her dad, even in getting to know Curtis. Like, nothing's going to take away the first, like, 20 years of her life, you know what I mean? Like, that love isn't going anywhere, but I just think that for Taggart, for whatever reason, it is crushing him that she's not his biological daughter. Even though, low-key, I still think that she actually is, and that the paternity test was rigged. Just saying. But, like, you know. Jordan doesn't want anything serious with Portia's brother. Well, no, she doesn't. But, like I just think that I think that she truly realized that Curtis's judgment is ridiculous. Like, Curtis's judgment on her is ridiculous. And she's over it. That's my take on where Jordan is mentally. Jordan doesn't want anything serious with Portia's brother. I mean, I'd be content just having fun with Zeke. You know what I mean? She doesn't really necessarily want anything serious with Curtis anymore either. Jordan, Portia, Curtis triangle will be front and center. Zeke will make it a quad, but he will be supporting character, not the main focus. I don't know. We got Scab Riders right now, DG. Shit, anything could happen. Anything could happen. GH could definitely use an overhaul 100. Yeah. Miki said Gladys is evil. True. This is one of the most inconsequential paternity stories in GH history. Trina's paternity changes nothing in the story. It's true. It's true. It's just, I think, you know, I guess, I don't know. I have no idea what GH, I mean, obviously, when they brought Portia in, it was always, and the fact that they like wrote Portia and Curtis to have an affair. I forgot about the scabs. Yep. Obviously they brought Portia in with the sole reason to have Trina's paternity in question. And I think it was supposed to be like a big story for Curtis, but now that the truth is out there, there's no more story to tell. Like, I mean, they could recant it. We'll see. But essentially, that was the big story. It was consequential to Curtis. That hurts to find out the child you raised for 18 plus years isn't yours. It's like a Kanye song. Isaiah, you said I saw one of the previews for an episode this week, and I rolled my eyes at Frank's pets being all over the place. Did they write Sasha stabbing Cody? That's so hilarious and poorly done. The acting was awful, and the blood looked like ketchup and jelly. Oh man, I mean, okay. So here's where the confusion lies, because one way or the other, the writers plan out their year ahead of time. You know, they have we're gonna bring this story from point A to point B. Like, point B will be sometime in June, and then point C will be in November, and so on and so forth. So, but it's the in-betweens and how they get there that is a little bit up in the air. So, you know. Stories were planned out. Whether or not there was a plan to have Sasha stab Cody to go on paternity leave, who knows? I mean, obviously, they did have to technically work around Sophia's pregnancy, and it wasn't an expected factor for whatever they had planned for Sasha, likely. GH's best paternity stories were Michael and AJ Q. Those rocked the canvas. Jakey said, "Child, I wish Sasha would have accidentally stabbed Gladys." No doubt. She would have deserved that. I wish they would bring Gia so she can tell Portia where to go. Well, would she though? Oh, Isaiah. Ooh, you're disagreeing with DG? I don't know. I didn't watch that whole thing, so I can't really speak on it. I don't think Cody's going anywhere, Kaiwan. Oh man. I didn't like how Michael's paternity worked out, but it really shook the canvas. And I was also referring to AJ's paternity. Oh, okay. They had a great resolution with when Alan discovered that AJ was his. With what's going on with Liz and Fan, do you think Hayden comes back? I don't know. I don't know. I don't see Hayden coming back. And I'm sad about that, because I actually really liked Hayden. But with Nicholas kind of MIA, and Nicholas kind of being responsible for whatever happened to Hayden. I just don't see her coming back anytime soon. And beyond that, with Liz and Finn, like, they're just working on a relationship again. And I don't think anything's gonna, like, stand in the way of it. I feel like GH is writing this stuff off the fly, changing mid-story, strange. Well, I mean, some of the things kind of have to be at the moment a little bit because, because of the writer's strike, A, and B, because of things that happen behind the scenes that are out of their control, like Sophia being pregnant again and going on maternity leave again, and obviously the stuff with Haley Poulos and her situation and having to recast and maybe rework the story a little bit to either, I don't know, to either have things carry on or slow things down. There's definitely behind the scenes factors that are factoring into the storylines plot wise, but I think overall, like, they, I think that they have like a beginning, middle, and end. Obviously, I think if I were to guess, I think that they always planned on Nina doing something dire to Carly and then looked for a way to drag it out longer. I don't think that they necessarily had in mind, like, well, let's have Ned find out the truth and then make him forget, like, a year ago. You know what I mean? I think that's just the writing team kind of, like, trying to figure out a way to prolong the sort of timestamps for the story that were planned out. And it was a dumb way to do it. Just a dumb way to do it. If Hayden comes back, she got to get... What? Cattle? I'm so good. What? DG said no one watching in the late 70s will ever forget when Monica confessed to Leslie that she thought Rick was AJ's dad when she was giving birth. Oh man, I love that scene because we reacted to that scene, I think, last year. Iconic scene for Leslie and Monica. DG said, I'm so tired of Liz and Finn. Liz could get a hospital storyline centered around her new position as head nurse, and Finn should be written out. They really should have been. It's not that Finn needs to be written out. I could take him or leave him, but for sure they should have made her getting her bearings as like the new head nurse, like, more of a thing on the show, whereas like her last day as a regular nurse, they had her just playing like board games with Finn in the back. Like, instead of like seeing her with actual patients and, having her last day as a non-administrator. And then, like, more of, on her day one, yeah, like, we saw her like shaking her finger at Amy, but like we didn't see her do anything else when it comes to being a head nurse. She just seems like she's doing the usual. She's just like roaming around and like gossiping with her coworker friends about their relationship troubles and whatever else. Like, they're not. We don't see her head nursing, and I would love to see that. I just hope we don't have to suffer through Eddie Main singing. Well, he'll definitely sing, like, it's inevitable. I want to see him try to put on the leather pants again and then struggle with it. Just hope we don't have to suffer through Eddie Main singing. I don't even like Wally Kurt's real life music. He's talented, but his music is just not for me. Well, this I guess the thing with this particular storyline is that they could really go any way they want with this version of Eddie Main, because he's clearly not the Eddie Main that that existed back then. Oh, the real Mrs. Cassadine. Ava's not really married to Nicholas. Didn't they divorce, though? I thought they divorced. Maybe I'm wrong. Other than Finn, who else can Liz date? Nobody. Yeah, there's no one to really put her with. I guess they could have tried Austin for a bit, but that's a bit weird. There are not enough doctors and nurses in the main cast. Whenever someone gets injured, all we get is extras. That's always bothered me too. We just get a bunch of extras that we don't know the names of, like bringing in these actual characters that get shot and stabbed or whatever. And it just takes you out of it. Whereas like back then you would have seen like Bobby and Alan and Monica and like, you know, like all these people like bringing him in and doing whatever. Now we don't get any of that. There's just who we got. Who do we got? We got Elizabeth, Austin, who's too busy doing whatever mob related stuff he's doing, Finn, Portia. Those are like the main characters. And then like for side characters you got Deanna and Amy, who never get seen unless the nurse's ball is coming up. And Terry, who is the chief of staff. The only good thing about Eddie Mayne's story, in my opinion, is that at least Tracy's front and center, and she has some great one-liners. Love Jane Elliott. Man, I don't know. I don't think you were here earlier. I was saying that I was talking about it earlier, and I said that Jane Elliott is carrying that story because she's that good, and the story is awful, but she's that good that she's making it work for at least her portion of it. I think it's time to recast the role of Lucky for Liz. Just find an actor who has great chemistry with Becky. Forgive me for saying it, but I really get tired of the overweight black nurse. Why? She's not used enough to like to be tired of her. Like why? We see her 3 times a year, if that. There's nothing to be tired over. Brooklyn, you said actually the writer team has been messing with my girl Sasha, especially you know that the character Sasha is expecting a child, or the actress of Sasha. Liz has been through all the men at this point. She would have to be with a woman to have someone new. Oh Lord. Well, she hasn't been with Sonny yet. Yeah, it's so sad because Jane deserves so much better. That's what I said too. Like what I said earlier, DG, was that they hyped Jane's return up for the 60th anniversary so much, and this is what they give her: Eddie Mayne and the Deceptor skincare thing. It's like they're trying to replace Sonya Eddie. Not really though. Like Deanna's so nice. Like Epiphany was like firm and like, you know, take no holds bar, but Deanna's been around for like what, 5 or 6 years now. So I don't know. I don't see them trying to replace her. Isaiah said, I'm honestly just glad to see the classic cues on screen. Ew, Liz and Sonny. I don't want them, DG. I was just pointing out that they've never been together. What do you mean they want Leslie with somebody? What are you talking about? If only we can see Monica. I mean, there's clearly something up with her health, I'm assuming. I am glad that they brought her back in some capacity for Epiphany's funeral, though. I like a good business storyline between Tracy and Gregory that leads to a romance. That'd be great. But all I talk about is Brooklyn and Chase. To be honest, I think where they're going with Tracy and Gregory, I think that she's gonna find out about his ALS before Finn does, and she's gonna be in a weird position to have to decide to, tell Finn the truth, or to respect what Finn's father wants and have him be the one to tell him. I think she's going to be put in that awkward position. Writers don't want to write for Rebecca Hurst. And just when we think she is going to get a front burner story, it ends up being about the person she is with. That is definitely the pattern. We've seen it with Franco and with Finn. We finally got a story of her, like, getting reunited with her parents that we'd never seen for decades. And they made it all about Finn and his ex-wife. They managed to insinuate her in that storyline, or insinuate Finn's wife into Elizabeth's past. Oh, that made me so mad. Tracy and Gregory. Mr. Gregory is too judgmental of her. They need to scrap the ALS stories, and Gregory Harrison doesn't need to be sacrificed for another depressing terminal illness storyline. Man. Well, he's not like a very needed character to begin with, He's a dad to these very much grown-ass adults. He's not really necessary. Yeah, they can put him with Alexis or Tracy or what have you. But, essentially he is fluff. And he is a plot point character for the family that surrounds him. And that is that on that. Oh, man. Some of soap's most iconic couples started out despising one another. You're not wrong. I don't know. I don't see much chemistry between Jane and the actor that plays Gregory, so... Alright, y'all, but it is getting late. I should be getting ready for bed soon, actually. We will see if I live stream Sunday. I'm not lying, guys. It's getting harder for me to just want to recap on Sundays with how the show is. I want the show to get better, but it's just not fun to talk about all of it when so much of it is awful right now. It's awful. After today's episode, Sonny is suspicious of Austin. Yeah, he better start looking into Austin. Dang. But yeah, y'all, I think I'm going to end the live stream here. Thank you so much for tuning in. And again, I want to say thank you for being patient with me the last few days here. Just because, life's been a bit of a roller coaster. So it's, it's hard to just want to engage with y'all when I'm kind of going through it. But I'm doing my best. We can just chat about the show. True. Alright, good night, everyone. Good night, Brooklyn. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. By the way, 1 week until my single comes out on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Music. It's called Madness, if you guys want to ever check it out when it comes out. I like all y'all. I like all y'all, too. Alright, good night, everyone. Have a good night. Mwah.